Hey, this is Eamon. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how you can get painting leads online. I'm going to be going over basically every way you can do this, except for one or two big ones, which is Yelp or HomeAdvisor or Angie or any, lead provider like that. With most of those, that's not really exclusive leads. They don't belong to you, and there's not much that you do on your end. You basically just pay the money and they provide the leads. You don't like put up the ad or write it or manage it or anything like that. Now, we divided these into three categories. There's your long-term assets, then there's paid ads, and the last one is your organic social media. So let's start with the long-term assets. The thing with the long-term assets is that you should be doing all your marketing with this goal in mind. It's just strengthen your long-term assets and build them up as much as you can. And the great thing about this is, and you might not even be thinking about this right now if you're in the beginning stages of building your company, but what this does is it builds enterprise value if you plan to sell your company in the future, because these are things that are associated with your company. It's not like, well, you've got ads running and you need to spend money on them to keep making money. It's not like that with these long-term assets. So your first long-term asset that you have is your Google business profile. Now this is what shows up in Google search and in Google Maps. So let's say somebody types painters in Buffalo, New York. This is the Google business profile. You can see this person is running an ad that says sponsored, and all of these are Google business profiles. Now these can show up in search, all right, when you press all, or it can show up in places. I just press places here because it's clearer. But this is the Google business profile. And as you can see, people can call you from it. And when they click on it, they can see all this information about your company. And like I said, this is completely free to set up. And honestly, this is one of the first things that you should do when you're starting a company. If you don't already have it, then you should definitely do it now. You input basically all this information, and it's completely in your control. Your hours of operation, your phone number, your website, all this stuff. And the way you build it up is by getting reviews, okay, and by uploading images regularly and optimizing your business info. So reviews is a big one, okay, because when people look through these, they're going to go for the person with either the most reviews or the most recent reviews, because most customers or people who are in the market, they're going to click on a few of these, especially the top ones. Okay, that's why you want to get reviews in the first place so you can show up higher. And they're not just going to look at the number of reviews, they're going to look at the recency of the reviews as well. So it's no good having like 200 reviews, but the most recent one is from 6 months ago. The person might doubt that you're even in business. But if you've got reviews as recently as 1 week ago, a few days ago, even 2 weeks ago, then that's really good. So it should be a constant thing after every job. And you want to upload your images regularly, because there's a few things that go into ranking your Google business profile. I'm not going to go into all of them, but you do want to be uploading images regularly of your jobs and the things you're up to, basically, okay, that are relevant to your business, obviously. And you want to have accurate business information on there. So your hours of operation, your services, the locations that you service, things like that. And this basically works as a flywheel, where you do have to put in a lot of initial effort to get those first like 10, 20 reviews. But then over time, this is going to compound, and you'll reach a point where you're getting a lot of calls and leads from it, and you need less input to maintain that level and to even grow. So like I said, there is a lot of initial effort needed, when you're getting those first 10, 20, 30 reviews. But then depending on your area, you can start ranking up pretty high, maybe even in the top 3. Now, I'm not actually in Buffalo, New York, so the businesses that show up for me may not be the same as the ones that show up for someone who is actually in that area. But still, you can see the ones that show up for me. This first one's got 24 reviews, this one's got 53, and this one's got 39. Now, you might be thinking, why is this one showing up first? Well, it's probably because this person is running ads. But even generally, it's not necessarily the case that the business with the most reviews shows up higher. Because like I said, there's other factors like the recency of those reviews. So the more recent the reviews, the better. You really should put time and effort into trying to get reviews out of every single job that you do. And I'm going to make a video about this soon, about how to get reviews from your customers and how to incentivize them the right way. Because like I said, once you reach a certain like critical threshold of a number of reviews, you're going to start ranking pretty high, and this is all free. Okay, it's free to make this profile. Then you'll immediately start getting calls and leads from it. Okay, so people can call straight from here, or they can go to your website and fill out a form, if they wanted more information. So really don't neglect the Google business profile. Now, your second long-term asset is having a website that's optimized with SEO, so search engine optimization. Now, this shows up in the Google search, and You can put the link to your website in your social profiles as well. So Google search doesn't have to be the only way that people find your website. So creating a website, your website should be mobile friendly and easy to get in touch with you. Whether you've got an agency or you're making a website by yourself, you want to make sure that either the call button is very clear. Well, not either. You want the call button and the form to be very clear and, easy to use. Now, ranking generally takes about 6 months to see results. If you're getting SEO done on the website, that's basically when you're having someone write content and articles and things like that on your website to have it show up high on the Google search results page. So all these people that show up pretty high when you search for painters, now we can assume that they're getting a lot of leads from this, okay? And obviously these big companies like Yelp and Angie's List, they put a lot of money towards this, okay? That doesn't mean that you still can't compete. Like I said, ranking takes around 6 months, depends on how competitive your area is. And the ranking of your website is also related to your Google Business profile. So both of them are linked, and you want to put time and effort into both of them. So that's the second one. Your third long-term asset, and this is something I spoke about a few videos ago, is building up a database. Like I said in that video, this is the point of all your marketing, is you want to build up a database of previous customers, and not just people that you've actually done work for, but even just leads, people that you couldn't do the job for whatever reason. You want to use a CRM to store and manage those leads, and then classify them by status. So the people that you gave an estimate to, but it never went with you for whatever reason, people that you actually did the job for, so previous customers, so that later you can get in touch with them about once a year. Or for the people that you gave an estimate to, you can just get back in touch with them maybe like, 3 months or whatever you think is appropriate, because they might not have gotten the job done right away. They might have just left it, might have, had other priorities. But if you get back in front of them, then they'll go with you. So this is worth doing, and it's very minimal effort, honestly, because the CRM will do everything for you. It's not like you have to keep this in mind. So like I said, you want to get in touch about once a year, offer discounted services, or whatever offer you're running, maybe to do with the holiday season. I spoke about this in the video, so if you haven't seen that, you should give it a watch. Otherwise, you just want to incentivize referrals. So maybe it's someone you already did a job for, and you want to tell them that if they refer someone to you, that either they or the person that's actually either your previous customer or the person they're going to refer you to is going to get like a gift card or whatever. You can get creative with it. Just give them some sort of incentive. Instead of waiting for word of mouth to kick in, this is you basically going out and making it happen. So yeah, this is everything to do with your long-term assets. Now, the second way of getting leads, and this is probably what you had in mind first when you started watching this video, is paid ads. Now, these work in the medium to long term, okay? So don't think that you can just turn on an ad and immediately turn a profit. It takes a bit of time for this stuff to kick in. And before you invest in this kind of marketing, you want to know your numbers before investing, so you can have an idea of the ROI, the return on investment that you can expect. So you want to know numbers like your lead to estimate rate, okay, your closing rate on those estimates, your average job size, your profit margins, things like that, so that you can basically forecast this stuff before you go into it. Now, obviously, you'll never be 100% accurate, but it's good to have an idea. Now, the different ways that you can run paid ads. You can run Google search ads, which I talk about a lot on this channel. And with Google search ads, you're basically paying to appear at the top of Google when people search. And you set a monthly budget for this. And the way Google search ads work is on a pay-per-click basis. So, for example, this varies by industry to industry, area to area. But let's say that one click costs $15, okay? Each click on your ad costs you $15. And you're turning every fifth click into a lead. So that means you've got a 20% conversion rate and a $75 cost per lead. So again, like I said, you really should know your numbers to see if this is going to work out for you, How many leads do you need to get an estimate? How many estimates to get a job? And then what's your profit on those jobs? Things like that. The second way is Google Local Services ads. And this is where, again, you pay to appear at the top of Google with a set monthly budget. But it's different from search ads because this operates on a pay-per-lead basis, okay? Leads that are actually quotable. And you can actually dispute non-quotable leads for a refund. So of all the paid ad avenues that I'm going to be talking about here, I think this is the one that everybody should, take a look into, because unless you just can't close leads, then it's very difficult to lose money on this. Now, the cost with this varies. It can be higher or lower or about the same as pay-per-click, which is the traditional Google search ad that I spoke about a second ago. And the thing with these Google local services ads This is what they look like, by the way, in case you haven't seen them. Basically, somebody will search for whatever service that you're offering. Then these local services ads, they're the first thing that show up, even above the traditional search results here. So you should definitely look into them. The thing with them is that they're not as scalable as PPC. So you can hit a ceiling where more budget, increasing the budget, is not going to get you more leads. So that's something to keep in mind. And it's why you want to diversify. You don't want to just be reliant on one lead source, no matter how good it is or how profitable it is. You don't want your business to be sitting on a one-legged stool, you know? Now, with these local services ads, there is a verification process to become Google guaranteed. And that's basically what this badge means. That's Google basically vouching for you to your potential customers. That's why there's a whole verification process around it. And there's a license check, a background check, and they ask for business insurance. So it's pretty comprehensive. That's why Google wants to make sure that they're guaranteeing actually, good businesses, because there's something built into this these local services ads where they might actually refund somebody if they're not happy with the quality of work that you did for them, if they got in touch with you through these ads. So that's why the process is so stringent. So like I said, because it's a pay-per-lead service, you definitely should look into it. There's a lot less of a skill element than when you're running Google search ads, okay? Because with these, it's very easy to waste money. It happens all the time. But it's not so easy with these local services ads. Now, the next one is obviously going to be Facebook ads or Instagram ads. And the way these work is that you appear in people's feed as they scroll. So they're scrolling through their Facebook feed, they're seeing their friends' posts, they're seeing things from, pages that they follow or they like, and your ad is appearing as they scroll. So it's kind of interruptive marketing. With Google, people are looking for your service. With Facebook, you're kind of jumping out at them. And because of that, intent isn't as high, and the leads are lower quality, and your close rate will be lower. That's completely expected with Facebook. It has nothing to do with your area or your business or whatever. It just has to do with the nature of the platform. But despite these three things that I just said, you will have a lower cost per lead. And if your sales process is dialed in, especially with follow-ups and things like that, and you're running a good offer, that's what really makes a Facebook ad. What makes any ad, honestly, but with Facebook, it's a lot more important because these people weren't even, looking for painting services. Or maybe they had it in the back of their mind, but they never quite got onto Google to search for it. So that's why you have to basically incentivize them a lot more than you would with Google. So if your sales process is dialed in, it can be very profitable for you, especially because of the lower cost per lead. And this is what it looks like. So people, like I said, people just be scrolling through their feed. They'll see an ad like this, and it can be an image ad, it can be a video ad. You can basically, choose whatever it is you want to run. And the last way you can get leads is by posting on your social media. So on your page on Facebook or on your Instagram profile, you've got your befores and afters, your stories. You can upload client reviews, interviews, testimonials, things like that. And you can upload reels, highlights, any offers that you're running, just things like that, because people in your local market should be following you on Instagram and Facebook if you're active on there and you're active on pages in your area. So you should try to be active on these social media platforms. And another way you can get leads organically from social media is you can post on these local Facebook groups in your area, basically saying, hey, we're a painting company in the area. We offer these services. We have, this offer or whatever. If the group allows you to do that, obviously there's rules and not everyone lets you do that, but generally I think most of them do. Another thing you can do is you can answer posts looking for services you offer. So what you can do is you can go into these groups and you can actually search in the top bar, painting or painters or whatever, and any post mentioning those terms will show up. People could be asking, hey, does anyone have any painter that they'd recommend? You can either comment under that post, not just so that that person will see it, but so that other people will see it, or you can just message them directly saying, hey, we're a company in the area. Is there anything we can help you with? And this is basically every way that you can get leads online. Like you probably noticed, the one that's going to get you the quickest wins, as long as you can actually, pay for the ads and keep them running until they dial in and you start getting the results that you want, is going to be this one, paid ads. So running ads on Google, whether it's search ads or local services ads, and Facebook/Instagram ads. That's going to be your best bet for generating leads in the medium to long term, okay? But the long-term play, and like I said, the goal of all of your marketing should be to prop up your Google business profile, okay, to get a lot of reviews, okay? Because imagine that you've got like 200 reviews and your closest competitor has 40, okay? People are going to go with you 9 out of 10 times, okay? Especially if those reviews are recent as well. people will always go with a company like that. And they don't even have to be all 5-star reviews. If anything, reviews that are like 4.2, 4.3, like 4.5 stars, those come off as more trustworthy than full 5 stars. Yeah, really, just watch this video a second time if you need to, and really think hard about this stuff, because this is what's going to differentiate you in your market. And like I said, it's what's going to make your company valuable if you plan to sell in the future, or you're not going to pass it on to someone. All right, that's everything I have for this video. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. But other than that, hope you found it useful, and thanks for your time.